Hello there, everyone. My name is Kate, and welcome to my channel, Trinergy Awakens Naturally. Normally, whenever I come to this platform, Trinergy Awakens Naturally, I'm talking about spirituality, about woo-woo stuff, religion versus spirituality, not so much. However, really unraveling for me the mystery of divinity, which I do not call religion. I call that my spirituality, my divinity. However, today, I really want to address something that's been heavy on my heart for quite some time, and it's to talk about autism, which I have autism. I have been officially diagnosed since I was 33 or 34 years old. However, did not truly find out that was the real diagnosis until about 3 years ago, going through a divorce that ended up being quite brutal and quite ugly and unpleasant. And part of that divorce process really opened up for me the need to be investigating a diagnosis that was kind of poo-pooed 15 years prior, which was a real shame, because if I had been really educated about what autism was, Asperger's specifically, though I don't mind using Asperger's at all, nor autistic. There are people who really relate to, I want to be called Asperger's, even though it's not technically standing as its own standalone diagnosis anymore. I personally don't care. I just am out here to put the message of autism is autism, and Asperger's is lumped into that, or it's considered, by some to be its own standalone diagnosis. It's not in, psychiatry land. It's not. However, doesn't matter. I have autism, and because of late adult diagnosis, I really went through a lot of unnecessary trials and tribulations with that, and have met quite a bit of trauma as a result of being gullible, naive, and not understanding social situations or someone's intention coming towards me, because I am intuitive. I am an intuitive, and I'm an empath. Very different than having empathy. Empath is more the woo-woo stuff. I can read energy, and I can feel energy, and I can kind of predict the future, being a medium type, because I can feel and predict the energy. Doesn't mean that I can change anybody's free will. I don't have that ability, and nor do I want that, because that's dangerous territory. However, that's also a separate, that's my channel, Trinergy Awakens Naturally, is dedicated to that. And I am starting another channel, Autistic Alchemy. I have started that, and will upload simultaneously this video to my regular platform, and also to a new channel that's dedicated exclusively to being an autistic person, a person with Asperger's, a person with autism, a human being who has all the same wants, desires, needs, etc. However, I really struggled because I was diagnosed so late. I struggled with understanding that I wasn't crazy, I wasn't stupid, I wasn't mean, all these biases that were really pushed my direction that just simply were not true. I absolutely can be mean, I can look stupid, I can sound stupid, and I can make some stupid decisions. And most everything that's come at me as far as, feedback, thanks to that feedback, hasn't really understood that a lot of decisions made that offend people, etc., are made based on my understanding. And if I don't understand, or I'm not reading the room correctly, so to speak, or if someone's not really coming at me with the real truth of what they be, that's going to confuse me. And then I can get frustrated easily. I don't so much anymore now, because I better understand. I've been going through a divorce for 3 years. It tidied up just a little while ago, but it really took a long time, and it literally just ended, about a month ago, that we're a year out from the actual divorce date, and then clearing out paperwork. Please don't wait. Oh, okay, we're gonna wait. Well, in the past, that kind of stuff drove me crazy. I had anxiety off the roof, and I did not understand why I felt such a terror inside of me all the time. And part of that, really a huge part of it, was that cognitive dissonance that, it's stuff you're saying isn't making sense to me, and then adopting the idea gaslighting, that I'm crazy somehow because I don't understand that inconsistency. I don't understand your dissonance there. I don't get that. It feels weird. And I used to say all the time that I have the creeps, man. I feel creepy. I've got the creeps. And since really understanding my diagnosis and understanding me and taking back feedback, some of the feedback I was getting, I said, thanks anyway. I don't want any more feedback. Thank you anyway. If it's toxic and broken and busted, it's toxic, broken, and busted, whether I have autism or not. If a dysfunctional relationship is dysfunctional and toxic, then that's what it is. And it doesn't matter whether I'm happy about that loss or sad about that loss. If it's toxic, broken, and busted, it doesn't matter, because I want to be able to launch my rocket off the pad and not explode that stuff like a bad Challenger 1986. Oops, that was a mistake. Yeah, so anyhow, the reason that I'm making this video is simply to share that because I'm now looking to get out into the dating world, well, I was anyway, to get out into the dating world, socialize, meet people. I'm not looking to jump into marriage or anything. Let's just start out with a date or two. And it hasn't gone well. I went on 2 dates. That was it. And the first one, if you've watched any of my other videos, the first one was just kind of a meet and greet thing. And, nice enough, but I could tell there's no sparks here. There's nothing. And there's not even going to be a second phone call. My end, his end, it was good. I was good with that. And the second one was very problematic for me in the after action review of that, in terms of the absolute bias that this gentleman had about not understanding neurodiversity. Neurodiversity versus neurotypical means that I have a problem. I have a medical condition. I have a mental illness. I have me and my neurological system, and part of my neurological system is my brain, just like everybody else. And the way that I process that information, the way that I receive the information, the way that I react to that information is going to be different than someone who has neurotypical electrical engineering, so to speak. Kind of blanked out there for a second. It's a little bit late at night. Wow. However, I felt very much led by my intuition to get started on this tonight and really start plugging it, because this has really bothered me quite a bit. That the prejudice people have towards someone that is neurodivergent, or just in general, people's prejudice, period, for being weird, different, awkward, odd, whatever the words are. Many, many, many different words have been used to describe me over the years, and most of the time I could just kind of go, yeah, whatever, because that's the beauty of my experience with autism, is that if it's a stranger, there's no such thing as stranger danger, man. I don't have to worry about you hurting my feelings, murdering me. Yeah, of course, catch me in a dark corner to rob me, that kind of thing. I don't leave myself open for that stuff. However, hurting my feelings as a stranger coming at me with, God, you're weird or whatever, that stuff generally doesn't bother me. It's just, I know inside of me that, yeah, that's about you, not me. However, getting out of those toxic relationships and those terrible paradigms of dysfunctional family dynamics that I grew up in and then repeated as an adult repeatedly, was all based in very bad misunderstanding of me and what I would allow or not allow into my world, based on just very, very small, minute understanding that I wish it had been understood earlier, that my diagnosis is autism, it's Asperger's, and if I had known that, I might have been able to make better, I would have, I'm sure, been able to make different decisions of what I would be willing to tolerate out of someone, or their behavior, their bias, or their misunderstanding of me and my clarity about me, because now I'm super clear about me. If I'm unclear, I want to look around the room and see who's near me, because I'm very clear about me and what I'm about. And I don't mean that to be arrogant or saucy or sassy. It's just I'm very clear about what I'm about, and doesn't mean I'm perfect. And neurodivergent people are not better than neurotypical. We operate on a different wavelength, a different level, and it's not better than, it's different than. I'm told repeatedly that you think weird, blah, blah, blah. And after I was able to get out of that, thank you 9/11, after I was able to get out of that and really start examining it for 3 years and realize that whether it's true or not, I don't care, because it's abusive for me to stay in any relationship that is not going to take into account my special needs, my needs as a human being, it makes no difference to me whether I have neurodivergent needs or not. I want to be respected right on the spot, and if it's not going to be that, then I was missing that piece of the puzzle early on with no diagnosis until I was in my 30s, and then not really getting a hold of, oh yeah, we need to go with that one and not those 12 other diagnoses that came through the DSM and put me on medications that were way inappropriate. I would have not tolerated a lot of the stuff that I was willing to tolerate because I did not understand I could say no. I did not understand what gaslighting was, and believe me, I have enough communication errors that I can get mean in a hot second, 10, and, go off the chain with some things. I have anger. However, I have spent 3 years really learning what are those trigger points. And one of the biggies is just disrespect, period. Disrespect. I don't tolerate that out of anybody towards me. I don't want to put it out towards anybody else. And I don't want to see other people being hurt. I fight. I'm a freedom fighter, and the Justice League, in my own understanding for me, is I'm my own Justice League, and so I have to fight for my own me, my own precious me, my own divinity, etc. And I'm willing to go out there and be an advocate and fight for other people too, because that's the right thing to do for me, and I'm not putting it out there for anybody else, which you got to take up. You don't have to be an Avenger or the Justice League. I'm not that. I am not that. However, I'm a mental health advocate all day long because I've been through the system and wrongly diagnosed and put on a lot of meds and stuff, and it really ruined a lot of days for me of misunderstanding me. So anyhow, what I wanted to talk about was the dating thing, because I'm going to keep this under 15 minutes. The dating issue. I met this guy, and we went out on a date, and I made a separate video that eventually I'll tag it in probably. And as we were talking on the phone, I like to let people know when I'm just getting to know them that, look, I have autism and it will help you if you can just come at me straight. Please don't do innuendo. If I look confused, I probably am, and I'm going to ask you a million questions because that's just what I do. I've shortened down the interview process and the interrogation process over the years. However, that's how my mind operates, is I'm going to need to ask you some clarifying questions, especially if there's some unclarified butter. I don't want any of that unclarified butter. No clutter in my butter. So I ask questions. It can be annoying, etc. And so I like to let people know straight up that if you are not sure whether I meant something to be hateful, hurtful, wrong, whatever, or if you are offended by something I've said or done, please tell me, because it's not my nature, it's not my desire, and it's not my intention to be hateful, hurtful, mean, nasty, etc. I mean, sometimes I pop off with a nasty comment here and there, or I might, bless you out if we've had some real, friction and you're just not getting me and you're stepping on me. I'm going to ask you to step right off, probably in a not a nice way. However, it's not my basic nature to do that. And so I let this man know, and he's a little bit older than me. I'm 53, dude. So, are you serious? But I let him know. And one of the first questions he asked me, actually the first question, can't believe I went on a date with him after that. But I said, I have autism, so please, be straight with me. And I'm saying something to you that's offensive. Please, let me know what that is. Doesn't mean I'm going to take his side on it and not automatically assume I'm wrong. That's another one of those things that I had to learn, is I'm not automatically wrong just because somebody says I am. Not that. So he asked me, do you wear a helmet? And I immediately returned fire with, well, not since the brain transplant. And that was a text, I think. That was a text. So I didn't get to see his face or anything. And it's just as well. It ticked me off and rubbed me wrong. And I didn't listen to my instinct. I went ahead and had another conversation and a follow-on date with this person. And I'm not really sure why, honestly. Maybe it was curiosity. I don't know. I was pretty sure that, yeah, we got no business together long term. However, my bad on that one. That the next time he made a comment, a few days later, we were talking, and he said, oh, what did you do today? And I said, oh, I went out and I rode my dork Trike, because I have a Trike that I ride, bike with 3 wheels instead of 2, and it's not motorized. It's not a Harley Davidson or anything. And he said, oh, do you ride a Trike because of your disability? And I kind of stutter stepped for a minute going, did this man just ask me about my disability? What disability is he talking about? And I almost instantly knew as I was getting through that, he thinks because I'm autistic that I have to ride I can't even follow you on that one. That's so dumb. I just can't follow your logic on that. And No, I got a dork bike because one of my children said, oh yeah, they're not dorky anymore, they're considered cool. And I went, good, because that's how I'm going to school with biking these days, is I'm going to just ride a trike. And that's the prejudice, the misunderstanding, and the bias that has really gotten me hurt in the past, is the ignorance of that. And I don't care to be abused or be abusive or be a part of that process if it is not necessary. So I'm going to leave it now and may go into another video, but I do want to leave this one here right now, less than 15 minutes. So take care, and I'll see you again. And thank you for your time. I hope to see you again. Bye. Bye.